Singularity is a first-person shooter from Raven Software, the same people who brought us both Wolfenstein and X-Men Origins. The game starts off with an electromagnetic surge damages an American spy satellite. Your character, Captain Nathaniel Ranko, and your partner Devlin are a military reconnaissance team flown in to investigate, leading them into an uninhabited island called Tortuga 12. During their arrival, another surge hits the helicopter, causing it to crash onto the island and splitting up our two characters. During Ranko's journey through the island, he uncovers that the island is a cover-up for a Russian experiment involving Element 99, which took place during the height of the Cold War. During their attempts to experiment further with the element, caused a singularity around the island, causing the player to see flashbacks of the experiment gone wrong. The story is delivered through flashbacks and audio recorders that you'll find throughout the island, giving the player more info on how things were after the experiment went horribly wrong. Though it's a similar system we've seen before in other games like BioShock, it works fine for setting the tone nonetheless. The voice acting is pretty much top-notch across the board, with well-known actors like our own Nolan North and Victor Berezov, played by Graham McTavish. For some of you who may remember, played Lazarevich in Uncharted 2.
So, this little man is Drake.
Being that Tortuga 12 is the real star of the game, the character development seems to take a bit of a backseat this time around, not really allowing me to really care about what happens to these characters. They give you a minute to brief you on what's going on and where you have to go, but it's not until the end of the game where you realize these characters' true intentions were. But by that time in the story, I simply just didn't care anymore. When it comes to the gameplay, you're suited with a standard military weaponry, everything from a pistol or shotgun to a huge machine gun. They tend to switch things around with adding slow motion to certain weapons like the sniper rifle for easier target practice. But all you really need is the machine gun in this game. During the middle of the game they hand you this huge Rambo-like machine gun, and I really did not look back after that, so kinda watch out for it. Around the beginning of the game you get your hands, or in this case, your arms around the time manipulation device, or the TMD. This device results in both using as a weapon and time manipulation, causing you to take an object like stairs for example, that are too old and crumbled to walk on. Using the TMD would take those same stairs and bring them back to an earlier state when it was stable to walk on. You get a lot of these type of puzzles all over the game. Sadly, you cannot pick which items to change time on is chosen for you. Another use that TMD has is its ability to levitate items such as boxes and canisters to use for both protection when you're out of ammo and puzzle elements when you're trying to get through a level, which helps when making the game feel as varied as it possibly can. These type of gameplay mechanics isn't anything we haven't seen before in other games such as Half-Life, but it does give you a bit more options when it comes to how you want to tackle a situation in a pretty linear space. But don't get me wrong, that linear road isn't a boring one. You'll be handed down with plenty of over-the-top scripted events that will keep you on the edge of your seat, very similar to the situations you see in Call of Duty. One particular scene I won't spoil for you, but involves a big monster, a train, and it's pretty sweet. Unfortunately, I never had the opportunity to play the online multiplayer of this game. After I beat the campaign, I kind of felt that I got enough of what I wanted from Singularity, and actually didn't even touch the multiplayer, so I can't speak on that. Singularity isn't a game that doesn't do anything you haven't seen before in other games, but it does take a lot of ideas from those games and puts it together in a solid fun package that you won't regret giving up a good weekend for. That's why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 score.